In today's class, I'm going to teach you about arrays in Java. Arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variable for each value. So let me create another class in the package, the calculator package that we were discussing before. It's a Java class. So I'm going to name it as a my arrays, it's class name, okay, and finish. Now you have a class created. So this class, you have a package and also a class created here, my arrays class. So you know that to run any class you need a main function, public static void main string array. So this is array, basically string array, args. So if you don't have this function, you cannot run any class, okay, as you know that. I'm saving this here. Okay, if you right click on this, run file is test, right? Now this is empty. Now I'm going to write a function method in this class to test array. Okay, I'm going to put the name, basically it's a public class, public method. Okay, the public method, it returns nothing, void, and the name of the method would be test arrays. Okay, and no input parameters. This is empty, void, open brace and close brace, and open curly brace, close curly brace. So this way, this method is complete now. You have a method which is a public method. You can access this method from any other class, and also this method doesn't return anything. That's why it's void, and this is the name of the method, test arrays, and it doesn't have any input data coming inside. No input to this method. So this is empty basically here. So now let me write something here. Okay, let me create an array. How do you create an array? Let us go to our PowerPoint. So basically, so usually, how do you store the data in a variable? You store like string fruit equal to mango. This is how you store it. So you can store only mango, one. Suppose I want to store a group of some data like mango, apple, and any other fruits, pineapple, all together in one variable. This won't allow you. So you cannot store multiple fruits into one variable, one string variable basically. So it only allows you to store one value at a time. If you want to store multiple values, you need array. How you define array? String. If it is a string type, mango is a string, right? String. So open brace, open and close the square brackets. This will tell you that it's a array of string. Here fruits equal to open curly brace and close curly brace. Inside that you can define mango, one fruit, and second fruit apple, and third fruit you can put orange, and fourth fruit you can add any fruit basically. So let's go here. So banana is also a fruit. So I'm in this array. I'm storing the four different types of fruits in one variable. So variable is fruits. This is one variable. Here I'm storing one mango only value in this fruit, but here I have four of them. Basically, I'm storing it to. So array is a collection of multiple values. That's called array. So this is very, very useful. This is open brace, close brace, square brackets. So this is string type. Suppose if you want to define an integer array, how do you define it? Int open brace, close brace, my numbers equal to curly brace open, curly brace close. Here I put 1, 2, 3, 4. So all are comma separated. All the values inside the array should be comma separated. So its values are, if you look at here, its values are comma separated. String array values are also comma separated, and the integer array values are also comma separated. Since it's a string, you have a double quotes here. This is a double quotes because it's a string. is integers doesn't have any double quotes. Keep it in mind anytime, right? Whenever you define a integer, my number equal to 1. So there is no double quote here. But here, for string, there is a double quote. So my number, if you look at right, this whenever you define the names of the variables, this is called variable. This is called type. What type of this variable? It is a string type. That means it's a double quotes. It's a mango, like that. Any string you can define it as actually here. Integer is a number, like without double quotes. That's called integer. So if you look at here, my number, first letter is always lowercase. And two words are here in my number. My number. The first letter is always lowercase. The second word, first letter is uppercase. This is called camel case. This is called camel case. Okay, keep it in mind. And if you look at here, my class, the first letter of my class is always capital letter. Okay, and second letter, basically it's lowercase. And suppose if you have multiple words, my is one word, arrays is one word. Every letter, the starting letter would be a capital letter in case of writing a class. So if you look at here, this is the standard. Java follows the standard. So you guys have to follow the same standard. Okay. Test arrays. So in the functions method, when you write the method, the first letter is always lowercase. And the second, there are two words in this test arrays. There are two words in this one. First word is always lowercase, and second word, the first letter is array. And you should not keep any space in between them. Java doesn't allow any space. One word, you have to write two words into as a without space as a one word, and basically this is called camel case. You follow camel case for variables and methods. And this is also basically kind of a camel case, but it's a starting with a capital letter here. This is starting with a lowercase letter here. Keep it in mind, we're defining the variables. Variables always start with lowercase letter. If a fruit is one word, that's why it doesn't have any camel case here. But my number is a two words are there, my and number. That's why it has a camel case here. Keep it in mind that one. The fruits is actually defined as an array of integers, and numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 is array of integers. I defined it. You're going to define like that. If you go to my presentation, so you have declared all these numbers, right? So you are now good with this. So now let us go how to access this one. I want to print them. I want to print them onto the console, into the monitor. So whenever I have fruit, suppose, how do you find, suppose if you have one variable here, how do you print this variable? My number of fruit, system.out.println. So you're going to print this one as fruit. That's all, right? And even any one single value variables, which basically the variables which store a single value. So you're going to just put this variable name here. It's like that. So you can print them into the console. But whenever you use a string values like this, whenever array like this, so you need an index value. So how it is system.out.println. How do you do? Fruits, open square brackets and close square brackets. It starts 0 index is mango. First index is apple. Second index is orange. Third index is banana. So if I put here 0, if I want to print first value in the array, so then it should be 0. Fruits of 0, that means it's a mango. Fruits of 1, it would be apple. Fruits of 2 would be orange. Fruits of 3 would be banana. Let me print, instead of printing all of them, I print the first one and last one. So keep it in mind, there are 4 are there, but the last one starts with 0. That's why 0, 1, 2, 3. The last one ends with 3. And the other one is, how do I know how many values are present in this array? So it can be a 4, 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, like that, unlimited. We don't know that one, right? So I want to know how many are present, values are present in the fruits variable. Now since I see declared here, that's why I know actually it is just 4 values. sometimes basically someone has defined it, and also you got in the method, so you don't know how many are there in the array basically. Then you need a length variable on the array. So that length variable will be like this: fruits dot length. So I have integer string array fruits, 4 of them. So if I do length is, this is the variable. So if I do dot length on the variable, then it will print you how many are there. So let me print it. System dot out dot print ln fruits dot length. So now, so let us test this one. So basically, but here fruit there is no length because it's only one. It will tell you basically only one of them is there. It cannot store more than one. But arrays, you can store unlimited. So many of them you can store it, right? That's why if you want to know how many are there in this array, then you have to use this length size basically. Length. It is also called a member variable of fruits basically. So you have to use length to print the length of the array basically. So let me save this one. Let me run this one. See, look at. So if you want to run this, because you are writing all these things in a method, test arrays, right? As you know, you need to create a first instance of test array. Okay. So that to create an instance of test array, my arrays equal to my arrays new create instance of my array class, which I created just now. Okay, using like this, and on my array, as you know, you call a method here. What method? Test. If you type here test, you will get a whatever the method you declared in the front. Test arrays. Click on that one. So you call this one. So in the main, it will run. So whenever you run a class, it will run a main. So in the main, what you did, you created my arrays instance, which is a class instance of my arrays, and on that one instance, you are calling a method test arrays, which just now you wrote. Okay, it will call this one and it will execute this one. In that one, I'm doing a lot of prints here. System print to the console. So now I'm going to save this here, and I'm going to run this one here. Look at run file. Okay. See, look at here, mango. So this is the first one, right? So this is the first print is this one. So it's a mango is printed here, fruit. First is mango, and the second one is my number. I printed another one called my number. So sequentially it will run. So first, second one is 1. It printed 1. Third one is what I did printed here. When I declared an array of fruits, in this one I printed 0th fruit, which is mango. Correct. 0th one is a mango. And the third one, I printed another third one. Third one is banana. So it printed banana here. Okay. And then what I did, I printed length of the fruits. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Length is 4. So basically it printed 4. So that's how basically arrays work. So if you want to know the size of the array, you need a length. You can call length on that variable. You will get that size of the array. Size of how many fruits are there, how many values present in that one arrays variable. So that is, we're going to write a lot of programs using that one. That's why I just want to let you know, you have to do like that. Okay, and looping through. So now I want to print all of them. See here, like 0, 1, 3. Suppose I know 4, then I can put 0, 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many are there. In that case, you have to use for loop, like you did earlier. Let me clean up this one. Okay. I'm just cleaning up. So if I clean up here, I removed all these statements. I kept only fruits now. Okay. So here I do for loop. For I want to print all of them values whatever present in the fruits array. So in that case, for integer I equal to 0. This is a temporary variable. I'm creating it. I less than or equal to fruits dot length. I don't know how many are there in that one. Fruits dot length will give you the size of them. I have to print 0, 1, 2. You have to start from 0, not from 1, because array start from 0. and last one is n minus 1, right? So but length is total number 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. It calculates four number up there, and it starts from 0, and I will increment this I equal to I plus 1. Okay, here now I'm going to print it. So this is the one you're going to use to know how many fruits present in this one arrays variable. Now I'm going to use system dot out dot print ln fruits array I. So look at here how simple it is. So instead of printing fruits of 0, fruits of 1, fruits of 2, fruits of 3, I'm giving basically for loop and for fruits of I. I is first initially, you see, if you look at for loop has 3 statements here. So 3 statement 1, 2, 3, right? First one only executed whenever it entered into the for loop, the first one. So I created the first statement, I create temporary variable I equal to 0. The second statement has a condition. So I less than or equal to length. Initially it is 0. The fruit's length how much is 4? 0 less than 4. True. You will come here. So a system dot on fruits dot I. So 0, right? Initially I. So it prints fruits of 0, which is mango. It prints mango. And then it will go here. I equal to I plus 1. It increment the I by 1. I become 2. Now 2 is less than 4. And it will come here. It will print the fruits of 2, which is, sorry, is 0, right? It will become 1 first. So fruits of 1, apple. And then it will go here. I can increment by 1. 1 plus 1, 2. And then it will be 2 less than 4. It will come here. So fruits of 2, which is orange. It will go here. Again, I increment by 1. So, and then it will become 3. 3 less than 4. So then it will come here. It will print it. So you only have 4. So you should not put here condition equal to. Okay, because it should be in less than. If it 4, then it become 4. So I of 4 is not there anything here. So that's why basically you should not have a condition equal to less than until it is less than print it. So basically, so because the index is starting from 0 here, 0 until fruits basically of the length, total length. So here it become because then it come here 4. 4 is less than 4, wrong, false, right? Then it will come out of the for loop. It break the for loop. So then it will come out of the for loop. So it will print all of them until it is in the for loop. This is the way you can loop through the array and know what are present inside the array and what is the size of the array. It can have more than one also as well here. So let me run this one, how it goes. So run this one. It is running now. See, look at here, mango, apple, orange, banana. So all of them, one after the other, we accessed them and printed them. So instead of writing fruits.0, 1, 2, 3, the 4 statements you require, you use one for loop. It may have 1,000 sometimes in that array. It may have 10,000. Writing a 10,000 lines, instead of writing 10,000 lines, you are writing just 3 lines basically. It will print all of them present in that array. So this is very, very helpful basically, okay. So this is one way of doing that one. The accessing array using index. So this is called I is index here. So I have fruits of 0, fruits of 1, fruits of 2, fruits of 3, like that. So it can be fruits or it can be anything, numbers or something, anything it can be basically array, right? Okay. So next one is for loop. Basically, there is a loop called for each loop. There is a for each loop which is used to exclusively loop through the elements in the array. So it would be similar to for, but it has a different syntax here. Let me look and show that to you too. Okay. So if you come here, so this is for loop. You have 3 statements here. This one I am to declare a variable, and the next one is condition, and third one is to increment that variable. So this is one. This and this one will be executed every time it is processing iteratively the loop. So for each loop, if you look at here, it is also for. Here it will have only 2 statements. So you're going to put string I. Here colon you use colon array fruits. So what it does is you don't need to give this condition in the for each. You just give the variable and fruits. Suppose if it because and you also don't need to increment it. So very, very easy and simple for loop. It only useful for the arrays. And there are a few more there actually collections also. We'll come to that. Arrays, this is only to loop through the arrays basically. Okay. So here, so I have every time basically it automatically increments. So this for loop, if you look at right, the variable and array name. That's all basically. So you don't need to increment it or you don't need to initialize that like a 3 statements here. So if I get system dot out dot print ln, I give I. That's all. But only thing is here, you need to know fruits is a string. You're declaring it as a string here because it's a string array. It's a string array. You know actually. If it is integer array, you should give it as an integer here. If it is string array, you should give it as a string here. That is only difference. Here you are not mentioning anything string or integer. It is very generic. But only thing is here you are defining it as a temporary variable I0 for index purpose only. Here there is no index here. It is a value. So you are accessing each and every value in the array and printing to the console. So let me save it and run it and see how it runs. Okay. I just saved it and running this. See, mango, apple, orange, banana, mango, apple, orange. So there's 2 for loops I have. One is just our regular for loop. The other one is it is a for each. Each of the element in the array it is accessing. Basically, it's called for each loop. Okay, so that's how basically you are going to. So if you put something, if you want to know different, because they are printed one after the other sequentially. So you can put system dot out dot print ln for each loop, and then run this program. Save it and run it. See here for each, this one, and is a regular for loop. So so you can use for each to print the each element of that one. And if you want to use a regular for loop, you have to define as a 3 statement. Like one is a temporary variable for the index, and the other one is a condition to see the length of the fruits, and then increment that index and then print each of them. Here you don't need to do all those things. It's very simple. Directly you are getting that value from the the string array and printing it. You don't need to know how many of them are present in there, and which is the first one, which is the last one. You don't need it. So sequentially, it will go to each and every value it is printing to the console. So here you don't need to index it also. It's directly getting the value from the arrays of fruits array. This is very useful one. Okay. So let me remove this one. Okay, regular for loop we use for the rest of the programs. For this program we use for each loop, and I have another one called integer. So integer, how you define integer, square brackets and my numbers. Okay, equal to, I'm going to curly brace, close curly brace, semicolon, 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40. See, so the way you write the code, you should follow some kind of a syntax, and it is easy for you to write the code as well. So you have to keep one line distance. Don't write one after the other. So just to understand the readability purpose, it is easy to read the program. And also indenting. So see, look at here. This is basically here, right? Each one has four characters here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here your method started. Here 1, 2, 3, 4. The first statement, the method started after 4 spaces. So it is better, at least indenting like this. It is readable very nicely. You can write the program and easy to understand and read the program as well. So you can put the comments. I'm creating integer array like this. Now I'm going to write for each loop. So for it is an integer, it's an integer array, right? So you're going to create an integer I colon my numbers. So it basically this is a variable, integer variable, and this is a array that you define integer type. Okay, open curly brace and close curly brace, and system dot out dot print ln I. So you're printing I. So to know actually you're printing these numbers, just put a is here system dot out dot print ln printing integer array. So just for your to want to see this in the output to see the difference. Here a printing a string array using for each loop. Here printing integer array using for each loop. This is called for each loop. Okay. So here just giving the for loop, and you just two statements are here. So you just accessing directly the each element, each value present in the array and printing to the console. Okay, save this one and now run it. So look at here, printing the string array using the for each loop. So string array. So what is string array? String array contains mango, apple, orange, banana. These four of them you printed here. Printing the integer array using the for loop, for each loop, basically 10, 20, 30, 40. So what are there in that integer array? Integer array has 10, 20, 30, 40. You print it to the console. So basically, so you are accessing each element and printing it directly value. Here, basically, they are accessing each element in the string array. So you can directly for loop. For this is called for each loop. So you can directly access a element in the array, and you can do whatever you want. You can calculate something, or you can print the console. You can do anything you want. So that is about arrays and accessing the arrays using for each loop. So we learn while loop, for loop, and for each loop now. For each loop will be used for arrays and collections, list, map, and few other things also there, which we will learn later. For now, it's an array. This for array. So basically, array is used to store multiple values in a single variable. So that how you define the array, basically it is a square brackets after the type, string array and integer array. It would be defined. This means that it has a multiple values. This is an array of values. Like this you define it. So that's all for today. Okay, we'll continue in the next class.